How's that working for you? 99.001% of you. It ain't, because you won't forget, will you? Because be honest, how many of you have actually tried that and been able to forget what you're trying to manifest? Stop worrying or get anxious when it's not here. Of course you haven't forgotten it. You're still thinking of it, aren't you? You can't not think of it. Your subconscious is constantly going to remind you, it's not here yet. Where is it? You fucked it up. Wonder what he's doing. How long is this going to take? Maybe it's not working. Is that forgetting it? And no. Let's do a Loz lesson about set it and forget it. This is a very popular phrase I used to hear all the time when I watched Law of Attraction coaches or listened to Abraham Hicks or any number one of those fuckwits who teach this kind of crap that doesn't actually work. And in this video, I will teach you how setting it and forgetting it is a surefire way to not get your manifestation and what to do instead. So guys, if you've not realized, we have a Christmas challenge on right now in the Subconscious Loz Squad called Manifest What You Want by Christmas. And a lot of you who are trying to set it and forget it, or a lot of you trying to persist, aren't getting your manifestation. You're either setting it and forgetting it or persisting, and either way it's not working. Do you know why it's not working? In this challenge, we challenge you to keep your mind right for the whole of December so you do get your manifestation on a time crunch. Now, I personally last year manifested exactly what I wanted using that challenge. It was called Manifest What You Want by Christmas last year. We've just changed the tasks, but it's the same kind of challenge where we are challenging ourselves to keep our minds completely on the prize. Okay, so we get what we want by a certain time, either by Christmas or New Year's, or we feel good enough at the end of the year that we know it's coming. Okay, we're not fretting about it. We're not anxious about it. We're not waking up Christmas morning and in floods of tears that our SP isn't back. Okay, guys, we know it's on its way or it's done. I'd rather you think it's done. Okay, but a lot of you have trouble doing that, and a lot of you are learning wrong, and you're learning like what this video is going to be about set it and forget it, and then you're wondering where it is. So if you guys have listened to me at any great length, you'll understand that I teach from the teachings of law of assumption. And the person who mostly taught that in the realm of the 21st century is Neville Goddard. Now, Neville Goddard didn't teach you to set it and forget it. He didn't teach you to do anything of the sort. And some people teach him like he did say that. What he said was, you don't dig up the seed once you've planted it. That's different from setting it and forgetting it. And I'll teach you the difference in this video. I've even watched very, high up coaches on YouTube saying he said set it, forget it. No, he didn't. So let me just explain what not digging up the seed means. When you are trying to manifest something, you've got to imagine it's already done. So when you're planting a seed in the ground that you want to grow into a plant, you don't plant the seed imagining it's never going to grow. You plant that seed assuming that seed will grow into a seedling, which will grow into a bush, which will grow into a full plant, like a plant, right? Or it grow into a small seedling, a little tree, and then a giant tree one day. You're not assuming when you plant that seed that it won't happen. You're not planting it in the ground and just walking off and leaving it and imagining it's just going to do it all by itself, or it's not going to do it at all. And a lot of set it and forget it teachings is plonk it in the ground and just walk off. That's not what Neville ever taught you. If you imagine a seed in the ground, you can't just plant it in the ground, cover it with soil and walk off. You must tend to it. You must water it. You must give it sunshine, okay? You must do things to help it along. But what you don't do is dig it up. That's the bit you guys confuse with set it and forget it and digging up the seed. You think it's the same thing. It's not, and let me explain. When Neville says don't dig it up, he's saying, okay, let's go back. If you were to dig up a seed whilst it's growing, why would you think of doing that? What would the purpose be of a gardener digging it up again once they've planted it? They'd be a terrible gardener, but what would that gardener be thinking? What would their reasoning be to dig it up? Anyone got an idea why they'd be digging it up? What would they be looking for? If a gardener planted it in the ground, waited a few days, and then dug it up, why would they do that? That it's not going to grow, yes, rot, or checking it's growing, checking nothing's going wrong, validation, evidence it's growing to see if it took root, yes. But a gardener has to trust it's taking root. A gardener can't see it growing. A gardener has to have blind faith that it's growing. And you have to have the same blind faith that your manifestation is also growing. That you planted the seed in the mind, the soil of your mind, and it's growing, and you don't dig up the seed. And how would we be digging it up? By checking for evidence that it's happening. So in the same way that a gardener would ruin the growth of that plant by digging up the seed to seek validation, to check that it's growing, to get evidence, you guys fuck up your manifestation by planting the seed in your mind. We are blissfully, happily married. And then you're like this. Why hasn't he called me yet? We are blissfully, happily married. Who's that on his social media? We are blissfully, happily married. He hasn't called me. He mustn't want me. He doesn't love me. Spiral. That's digging up the seed, right? You either completely throw away what you were originally persisting in, the news story, and spiraling, or you're checking and digging up the seed to check for evidence. That's when you guys go and stalk social media, you drive past the house, you go and check your bank balance if it's about money, you keep incessantly ringing the person for the job, even though you put your application in, you're fucking digging up the seed all over the place. Instead of trusting in the unseen, you can't see the seed growing. You can't see the movement, but you trust it's happening. You can't see it unfolding, but you trust it's happening. And so many of you can't do that. Now, let's go back to what this original lesson was all about. Set it and forget it. That's what law of attraction people teach you. Let me teach you why that doesn't work. And if any of you turn around in the comments of this video and say, but it worked for me, I'll tell you why it worked. Because you don't understand. Set it and forget it is like, I imagine we're blissfully, happily married. And then I never think of it again. I forget it. Forget it. That's not dropping the seed. Dropping the seed is dropping it, letting it grow and not digging it up. Forgetting it is literally never thinking of it again. But what are you thinking of if you try and forget it? Now, how many of you, if you're not with your specific person at the moment, can set it and then forget it? That would be like 0.001% of you. Because you're all fucking obsessed with your SPs. And don't say you're not. I call bullshit because I see your questions. Bullshit. So not only are you trying to do something that you're going to find impossible, because you're still going to think of your specific person, you're still going to wonder where they are, you're still going to check the 3D, you're still going to wonder if it's happening or if there's going to be movement or what they're doing or if there's still a third party or you're still going to do all those fucking things. But you're not doing anything to keep on top of your new thinking of the new setting it that you did. So in the same way that setting it is like dropping the seed, planting the seed in your mind, if you're setting it, you're setting it up as we are blissfully, happily married. That's the setting up. Then you're forgetting it, are you? So you're setting up in your mind, we're blissfully, happily married. You had a beautiful, visualization scene, or you said a few affirmations or whatever these dumb bitches teach you to do for 2 seconds, and then set it and forget it. Then you're trying to forget it. And say you have forgotten it. Say you have forgotten that setup that you did. What are you doing in the meantime in your mind? What are you really doing in your mind? You're telling me that when you set it, you forgot all about your specific person. You never thought of them again. Their image of their face never crossed your mind. Wondering what they were doing right now never crossed your mind. Wondering if they are still with the third party never crossed your mind. You never picked up your phone and checked their social media. You never did that. You've got some kind of Zen form of self-control where you don't check social media, you don't look, you don't check, you don't seek evidence, you don't seek validation, you don't think of them, you block them out of their mind. You've had an amnesia of the mind about them, have you? That's set it and forget it. How's that working for you? 99.001% of you. It ain't, because you won't forget, will you? Because be honest, how many of you have actually tried that and been able to forget what you're trying to manifest? Stop worrying or get anxious when it's not here. Of course you haven't forgotten it. You're still thinking of it, aren't you? You can't not think of it. Your subconscious is constantly going to remind you, it's not here yet. Where is it? You fucked it up. Wonder what he's doing. How long is this going to take? Maybe it's not working. Is that forgetting it? And no. So instead of trying to do that absolute complete bullshit that 99.9 reoccurring % of you won't be able to do, how about you do it the right way? Which is just change your fucking thinking and then persist in that new thinking and don't dig it up. Did you ever think of that? Oh my God, this novel concept of staying in the new state of you, having the new thinking constantly and consistently and persisting in that. Oh my God, is that what we're meant to do? Not forget about it. How many of you can actually forget about it? Oh, I can't. Well, why are you even trying then? Oh yeah, persisting in the news story that they love me, we're blissfully happily married would be a lot easier than me trying to forget their face, forget their name, and not seek validation for the next couple of weeks or months. Wouldn't it, Loz? No shit, dude. Some of you are trying techniques that you're going to find literally fucking impossible because some dumb bitch told you to do it. Your subconscious mind is not going to forget what you want. It's constantly going to remind you that what you want isn't here. It's going to remind you to keep you safe because it thinks you're a moron who's trying to manifest something that is impossible to it. So if you've had someone say, we're broken up, I don't want you anymore, and you're now trying to manifest them back, your subconscious mind's job is to stop you getting hurt. So it's going to constantly remind you while you're trying to forget about this person that they don't want you, they don't love you, they're not coming back. But you're trying to forget them. Forget them. Your mind's going, let's forget about them because they're not coming back. And you're like, no, I'm trying to see us together. No, I'm trying to tell you that ain't happening, love. Remember that scene that I can remember where he said, fuck off and die, and he broke up with you and said, never text me again? I'm remembering that, and I'm going to constantly remind you about that until you realise this ain't going to happen. You're not going to get back together, ever. It's like a Taylor Swift song in there. Telling you, reminding you, we are never, ever, ever get back together. It's going, never, ever. And you're going, I'm trying to forget about him. Why don't you, while the never, ever, ever is playing, excuse my bad singing, go, yes, we are. Thank you, mind. But we are blissfully, happily married. And whilst that fucking song's playing, you're telling it what to think. You're reminding it of the new persistent story that you're persisting in, that you are together, that you're blissfully, happily married. You don't allow that song to just keep on playing in the back there while you're trying to forget. Because trust me, the song will play. And the more evidence you don't see of it arriving, of it coming, of it being here, of it manifesting, the louder that fucking song will get. So what do you do instead? You persist. You persist in the news story. We're blissfully happily married. We are never ever. You're like, thank you, mind. We are back together. In fact, we are blissfully happily married right now. He's here in bed with me. Oh, I can feel his beautiful skin and smell his smell, and I can feel his whiskers against my face, and oh, he loves me so much. We're blissfully happily married. Our little baby's in the bassinet over there. Fuck off. That's what you're meant to be doing. Right? Now, I'm not saying you obsessively think stuff all day about them, but I'm saying whenever that Taylor Swift song is a playing, you cancel it out with the new story. You don't just try and forget it. You're not setting it and forgetting anything. Because when you set it and forget it, it won't fucking arrive. Now, those of you who are dumb enough to think that that worked for you, let me explain what you fucking did. Somehow, magically, you set it and then you actually stayed in that state consistently until it showed up. Or you had such a strong scene that impressed your subconscious mind so hugely and nothing got in the way of that in the meantime and then it showed up. So those of you who say you forget it, you forgot it, it wasn't the forgetting that was the key to it. It was the fact that you really strongly imagined it first. That was the key. It's not the forgetting it that's the key. A lot of you think, oh, I forgot about something, then it manifested. No, what you did was you stopped having fearful thoughts about it and then it manifested. You stopped having the opposite thoughts about it and then it manifested. It wasn't the forgetting. And so many of you fool yourselves into thinking it's the forgetting that worked. It wasn't the forgetting that worked. It was the not thinking bad shit that worked. It was not thinking the opposite that worked. It was the imagining it's done. Now, if you can do that, if you can plant that seed, not tend to it, not water it, not give it sunshine, and you can just walk off and you can forget it, well, fuck me, all power to you. You must be a Zen master. You must be like Yoda. Okay, if you can do that, all power to you. But most of you, from your questions in my Q&A forum in the Subconscious Laws Facebook group or the squad or any of these lives, prove to me that most of you can't do that because you worry about where it is. You worry you've done something wrong. You check for movement. You check for validation. You check socials. You talk to your friends about it. You freak out about it. You're constantly asking questions about it. And that tells me you haven't forgotten shit. So if you can forget it, and if you've been one of those people who's done that, all power to you. But it wasn't the forgetting, it was the lack of fearful thoughts and the lack of opposite unfavorable thoughts that worked, okay? And that is actually you technically persisting in the new story because you weren't allowing the old thoughts in, right? Persistence is the key here, guys. That's what Neville Goddard taught you. And if you come and join us in Manifest What You Want by Christmas, the challenge right now, the whole key is persisting. We are persisting in our new thinking. And it's an accountability group, my Subconscious Laws squad. And we keep each other accountable as we're doing the task, as we're doing the visualizations, we're listening to the Christmas playlist, as we're coming up with our own affirmations, as we're making our own little affirmation tape. We are persistently doing it for the whole month of December, like I did last year, so that on Christmas Day, like I did, you can manifest what you want. Well, I manifested Christmas night, but it was still Christmas Day. Okay? Just like how you have your phone and car and know you have it, why would you obsess about it? Exactly, guys, exactly. I can imagine it's done and get everything I want. Do that. It was the knowing it's done and moving along. Well, guys, if you can do that, knowing it's done, all power to you. And that's the point. We're meant to be knowing it's done. But I imagine a lot of you find the knowing it's done and not freaking out quite difficult. But if you can, I'm not saying don't, but a lot of you find it very difficult, and that's why I'm here. You are the Queen, Loz. Oh, thank you. Love it, Loz, for the example given. Okay, good. Exactly what I needed. Good. Okay. So, guys, are you getting this? Now, who's in the squad already and doing the Manifest What You Want for Christmas? You should so much like Tamara versus the Void. What? I don't know what that means. Loz, you crack me up. Never, ever, ever. Guys, really. Hang on, guys. I don't answer questions anymore. Loz, I'm missing my daughter so much. I don't know what that's about. It sounds like a question. It's crazy how the mind works. Yes, guys, yes. What's this? Love the squad. Yes, lots of people in the squad already. Love the Christmas challenge in the squad. Yes. I'm late to this and feel like I've missed so much. Don't worry, darling. You can watch this back on YouTube. So, guys, whenever I do one of these Laws sessions, I always post it on my Subconscious Laws YouTube channel. So go over there because all these previous lives are posted. All these previous Laws lessons are posted, and you can watch all of them in the How to Manifest. Oh, no, it's not called How to Manifest. It's called Why It's Not Manifesting playlist. Learn something new from me every time I listen to your Laws. Oh, thank you, Shelley. A tarot lady told me to listen to the blonde lady with the blue eyes. Haha, squad is awesome. Oh, that must be me. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you come and join us in the squad for the Christmas challenge. Manifest what you want by Christmas. We all keep you accountable in there. It's already started. It doesn't matter. You can join anytime. You can catch up on the tasks. They're all there in the guide section of the squad. The squad is only $50 a month or $35 if you join for the year, or just come and join my free group, Subconscious Laws, or come and watch this back on YouTube. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye, guys.